cattle are like our kids. When they get sick, we have to take care of them and do everything in our power to make them better. Sicknesses in cattle can range from anything from pneumonia to bad eyes to even hoof rot. However, when we treat animals, we have to use antibiotics, but you have to use them sparingly. Drugs.com wrote a very interesting article about antibiotics, and they said, when administered to cattle, muscle discoloration may necessitate trimming of the injection site and surrounding tissues during the dressing procedure. So this means when we go out to doctor an animal, we have to use antibiotics appropriately. So today, I want to take you through a step-by-step process of how to doctor a cow when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So we have to rope the cattle, which I know sounds kind of harsh, but when you're out in the middle of nowhere, that's what you have to do. There are two loops that can accomplish this, the head loop and the heel loop. Now the head loop comes first, and it sounds harsh, but the head loop goes around the neck. The head loop is probably the most complicated loop because you cannot choke down the animal. We don't want to make the animal more uncomfortable and make things worse. Now as you can see here, it's a little hard to see, but Bryce has a head loop on this animal, and that rope is not tight. The animal's standing there comfortable, and she's not choking down. The second loop is the heel loop, and that loop goes around the back 2 feet. And with this loop, when this loop is complete, the two riders do have to make the ropes come tight in order to pull the back feet out from under the animal, laying the animal over in a perfect situation. However, this does not always happen. Now, as soon as the animal is laid over, the header has to get off his horse and take that head loop off immediately and wrap it around the front 2 feet. Now this is done by, as you can see, I'm holding the back 2 feet tight so the animal cannot get up while the header is trying to take his loop off the head. So this is kind of the finished product when we're both off our horses and the calf is tied on to the horses. And as you can see, the calf is not in discomfort. She's laying there calm and she's ready to be doctored. So I can tell you about all the different diseases and how we doctor them, but I'm going to go over bad eyes today. And the way we doctor bad eyes, it's a little rough, but we actually have to stick a needle right above the eyelid and right above the eyeball and we inject 5 cc's of antibiotics in there. Now, the reason we have to do this is we want to protect that eye so that eye gets better. According to an article from Beef Magazine, sunlight causes squinting and stress on the eye and also predisposes it to pink eye. Another thing injecting antibiotics into the eye does is it closes the eye and protects it from anything else getting in there, and then when the antibiotics drain out, it drains out anything that could be left in there that caused the bad eye in the first place. Which things that can cause bad eyes are thorns, thistles, pieces of hay, even sand can cause bad eyes like this to happen. Now, once we're done doctoring the animal, we have to mark it. We mark them with bright colors, with paint sticks of bright colors on the forehead, so that tells us that we have doctored this animal before. We also write the date on the side of the animal so we can tell when we doctored it, and we can track their progress to tell whether the animal is getting better or getting worse and whether we have to doctor it again or not. So now that we have paint marked the animal and doctored it for the correct disease, it's time to let the animal get up and go back to eating with its friends. So in order to keep us safe, we have to get back on our horses and we release the tension from that animal, allowing the animal to step out of its loop comfortably and get up and go back with the herd and feel as comfortable as possible. Now, this concludes doctoring an animal, and I hope that not only that I teach you how to do it, but I hope to bring to light to you what it takes to doctor an animal and what we have to do and why we do it. Because I feel there's a lot of discrepancy in why we have to rope animals, but I hope this kind of changed your mind a little bit.